Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. And I personally believe that this next market cycle, the XRP portion of this market cycle, is going to be more shocking than pretty much anybody would ever guess for so many reasons. And look, I say this despite the fact that obviously there's allegations from the SEC towards Ripple. There's going to be some litigation there, or settlement perhaps, which would be my preferred outcome. But I get all of that. But from my perspective, I think more likely than not that's going to get cleared up one way or another. I don't think XRP is going to actually go away. I don't believe XRP is actually a security, but I always knew there was a threat of this potentially happening. I knew that when I started doing my research 3 years ago. I just thought it doesn't really make sense. So, well, if it happens, it happens. But my calculus in terms of how I'm treating my investment in XRP certainly has not changed. And what I'm seeing here, frankly, is rather exciting stuff. We're seeing crazy. I mean, hell, you guys have been seeing what's happening with Bitcoin price action of late, right? It's just been blowing up. It's been incredible. And the most exciting thing about that, perhaps, is that it's a result of institutional purchases. You know, there's all sorts of Bitcoin that's just being purchased, going into deep cold storage, and then there's less Bitcoin for everybody else to fight over. There's already not that much. And when you consider that barely any humans on the planet have already invested and the price action has already done this, that you can start to get a picture of what the supply and demand dynamics are really doing here. And it's going to be like, if what I think will happen to XRP actually comes to pass, holy hell, the multiplier effect for XRP is going to be insane compared to what's going to happen with Bitcoin. And I already think Bitcoin could be worth like a crazy amount as well. I do firmly happen to believe that. Now, to be clear, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and so you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast in this space. I enjoy following this and talking about this. But, I'm making YouTube videos as a hobby, but that is all that it is, just to be super duper clear. So first I want to take a look at this piece from the Daily Hodl. Macro guru Raoul Pal predicts Bitcoin run will be more shocking than crypto traders imagine. I suspect he's right, by the way. Real Vision CEO Raoul Pal says Bitcoin's new bull cycle could be far bigger than most are expecting. In a new interview with Lark Davis, Pal says this bull run will be much different than the last due to an influx of institutional investors moving into the space. Take a look at this quote. It is, I think, gigantically different. Firstly, look at the acceleration of this post-halving versus the previous one. It's faster. None of us expected that. We were all expecting the slope to be less. So far, not true. Now, it's early days, so that's interesting to me. Also, the structure of the market before was retail investors. Now, here we've got institutions. Some of them will buy and hold, but as you bring in hedge funds, you'll start bringing new supply into the market because they'll trade it more and they'll trade it in big size. So they'll be selling some, buying it back, selling some, getting short. Yeah, exactly. So that I believe is undeniably true. And on top of that, we do know that XRP, along with every other altcoin, simply follows the price action of Bitcoin. The market just moves in tandem, and I think that just speaks to the degree to which things are truly in their nascency, just as an asset class. And so, to me, I just want to take advantage of that while that is still a thing, because I don't think it always will. I think at some point, even if it takes decades to get there, I don't know how long it'll take, but at some point, tracking this asset class is going to be way more boring. There's going to be way less volatility and way less opportunity. But right now, as I'm recording this, December 2020, there's almost no money in the damn space. You're looking at whatever, I didn't check the market cap before recording this, but for the asset class, what is it, like 700 billion, something like that? We're not even at a trillion yet. And I think there are going to be individual cryptocurrencies that will have trillion-dollar market caps just when this is all said and done. But here's the rest of his quote now. That's a different structure than we're used to. What that actually does is lower the volatility of Bitcoin over time. So the texture and feel of Bitcoin will be different. Over time, the next cycle, the returns will be significantly lower in terms of percentage returns. This one, I have a hunch that this will be bigger than anybody imagines. See, look, and I do think he's right about that, and that's why I keep saying there's so much less money invested into XRP, and so to get that multiplier effect takes way less money flowing in. and there's barely any any money in it as we sit here. And I know, look, it's funny to think like XRP, it's existed for roughly 8 years, and there's still almost no money in it. It's astonishing, and it's not just XRP; it's all other altcoins as well. But and it's funny to think, even with that being the case, XRP is still considered a large cap coin, and it is for the crypto asset class, but it's tiny. See, but that's what represents the opportunity, in my humble opinion. But here's some more of his quote. The structure of the market is changing, but I have a feeling that is going to be a little more shocking than people imagine. If I just take the log chart and put regression lines on it, if it gets to 2 standard deviations overboard, which is roughly where it got to the last 2 peaks, that's $1 million. Besides the growing interest of institutional investors in Bitcoin, Powell expects an exchange-traded fund of the flagship cryptocurrency to further contribute to the rally. And here's another quote. It's coming. Bitcoin ETF. It's coming soon. And when it comes, it's going to give another whole leg into this space because there are a lot of people who are not comfortable paying massive premiums for Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And so Powell also expects acquisitions in the crypto space to rise, with the small cryptocurrency hedge funds being the prime targets. And here's a final quote. I am also hearing incredible stories of these massive hedge fund platforms trying to buy every single independent crypto hedge fund to add it to their platform. Most of these funds are small. They are like $20 million funds, and suddenly they are going to be $200 million funds. And so this is the coolest thing on the planet to me. Which, as long as things go the way we hope and think they will with the SEC and XRP ultimately being declared not a security, just having that actual clarity, holy hell! Because understand right now, with this hanging over, like I personally believe that XRP as a result of that is supremely undervalued because so many people were fearful, and I understand why, it makes sense, but so many people were fearful of what this might potentially mean for the long-term viability of XRP that they just exited. And so, so if that's what you want to do, I don't blame you. Seriously, I get that it's scary. I personally am not scared. I think that Ripple's on the right side of history. I think that as time passes, that'll become clear. But I do understand that there's risk associated with increased risk as holding XRP as a result of this. But again, it doesn't change my personal calculus because I always knew this was a possibility. And if this is what we have to go through to finally get actual clarity, okay, fine, so be it. It's not a fun thing. And I think a lot of people got shaken out of the market, and which is, to me, it's just like it's that the actual financial damage here, it's coming because of the SEC, which is supposed to protect investors. That's what's so ridiculous about this on its face. But such is life. All right, take a look at this piece now. From the Daily Hodl. ARK Invest's Cathie Wood, extremely bullish on Bitcoin, calls Bitcoin reserve currency of the new crypto asset ecosystem. And so, I still firmly believe that any cryptocurrency that is going to have long-term viability will ultimately get that store of value status. And so, if any crypto that has long-term viability must be solving an actual problem. Which XRP certainly currently does. Anyway, ARK Invest founder and CEO Cathie Wood is calling Bitcoin the reserve currency of the crypto asset ecosystem. In a Bloomberg interview, the head of the global asset management firm explains why ARK Invest is extremely bullish on the leading cryptocurrency. And here's a quote. Our confidence in it, Bitcoin, has gone up since 2017 because what we saw as it dropped from $20,000 to below $4,000, it actually got well into the $3,000 level. I think in 2019 was that Bitcoin's share of the crypto asset ecosystem moved from the low 30% range in terms of network values into the low 70% range. And what did that tell us? That confirmed in our mind that Bitcoin is the reserve currency of the crypto asset ecosystem. And so I'm glad that they're getting in this direction, but really you saw these types of extremely volatile moves with XRP and really pretty much every other crypto on the planet. So all I'm saying is I'd expand that to the broader crypto asset class, what she's stating right there in general. But it's amazing to see this here. Institutional purchasers increasingly becoming convinced that there's something to this, right? And so here's the rest of the quote. So it is the reserve cryptocurrency, which is a very important role. It is the flight to safety currency. It is Bitcoin's technology, or Bitcoin's blockchain is the most secure of any other blockchain. And we can dispute that. I mean, obviously, it's my firm stance that XRP is more decentralized than Bitcoin. I think that's provably so. David Schwartz has articulated a pretty strong case for that. But it's just, so they're optimizing for security, clearly. But that's not the thrust of this conversation. I just thought I'd mention that. But big picture here, I think you can kind of see the direction that we're going. More genuine adoption when almost no humans on the planet own this, and there's barely any liquid Bitcoin or XRP. Like, you should be able to see the way that this might perhaps go, right? It's just supply and demand dynamics, like I keep saying. And don't forget, it's only about 0.002% of humans on the planet that have ever held XRP at any point in time. And XRP certainly follows Bitcoin, and there's not much Bitcoin, and it's getting snatched up. This is the direction things are going. The market has chosen it. Whether we think it makes sense or not, the market has spoken, and definitely this is how things are going to look. And you know what? That's fine. I'm not a maximalist of any coin. I want multiple coins to be winners. I want a bigger pie, and XRP to get its piece of it, basically, right? So that's where I'm coming from. But I really do think that by the time this market cycle's over, it's just going to be completely shocking. And as long as nothing horrendous happens on a fundamental level to XRP, which, and again, I don't think it will. I'm just going to continue to hold. But as long as nothing like that happens, I think that the price level of XRP is just going to melt faces. I mean, you're talking about, in my humble opinion, at some point getting back to that all-time high and then entering in an entirely new realm of price discovery. So we'll see. But I always acknowledge, hey, the way I think it will likely go, I could be wrong, and maybe I lose everything. I've said that the whole time I've run the channel, but I am Mr. XRP Bull for a reason. And I want exposure to this volatile asset class. I love that it's volatile. If it weren't volatile, I would not be interested in purchasing or participating in the asset class, because why would I do that? I guess I'd probably just buy gold, which mostly just trades sideways. But I know it's been a little more exciting in 2020, but you got that kind of mind, Jim. I'll wrap up here, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.